I'll tell her in the morning.
Okay, let's do it. Did I have the foresight to
You
allow
did.
you? All right.
We're
Cool.
both recording. Isn't this great? We've got
All right, so-
backups. It's a belt and
Never-
suspenders kind of show.
You never
Yep.
know.
Does mental remember to share sound this time?
I don't know. We'll
We're
gonna find out.
soon.
Does on
That's
his
fun.
side, but not on ours. So that's fun. There it is.
Welcome to Everyone Racers.
A show designed for the world of low-dollar racing.
An oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemon Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA.
We don't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard, you built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions.
Tips, tricks, as well as news and notes.
From the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot,
Hella sweet.
Or lucky. Chrissy,
Chrissy,
And I give you just the tip
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
everyone report to the paddock.
Ah, spooky episode.
So spooky. This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
And I'm mental.
Oh, I love it. We're Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Philadelphia Packard showroom turned swanky apartments episode of our show. It's 317. And the Packard Motor Company motor car building is at 317 North Broad Street, originally built to be the Packard showroom and a new inventory holding location. Not driving a classic while going to get a whiz-wit. At least you can still use our bingo card if you don't order it correctly. Even if you don't order it correctly. There you go.
Most of the cheesesteak places will still give you a cheesesteak if you don't order it right. They just
Most
don't
of
like
them.
it.
And the other ones, they will put the notes on the wall and tell you and remind you, if you want this, this is how you order it. So they'll let you know. And then there's some places that are like soup Nazi that just say like, yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah,
And then don't
no
go
sandwich for you.
And don't go there anyway because they're not the good ones. Anyway, let's move on. Mental, tell us what kind of fun things you're doing.
Not as much as you would think. Did a couple episodes of Bid Nerds. You can check those out online now. Saturday, Vicky and I went to, no, it was Friday. Vicky and I went to a car show, one of those trunk or treat deals, there at the casino. It was fine, but it's exactly what you would expect. A lot of hot rods, band doing bad 80s metal on stage. But yeah, we walked
Sounds
around. It's
super.
cars. Yeah, cars are cars. Then afterwards, a friend of mine, she's doing a bit of a passion project with some PR stuff. And there is a new bar in Las Vegas. There's always a new bar in Las Vegas, but this is on the Arts District, and it is called the Stray Pirate. And the theme is a pirate ship crewed entirely by dogs, and it sunk to the bottom of the ocean. So we went and checked that out. It was their soft opening. A lot of fun, interesting theme. So if you come into Vegas and you want to go see the Stray Pirate, let me know. We'll go check out the Stray Pirate.
I mean, that's a fairly deep theme. That's the kind of theme like in Lemons, it would be one of those that, well,
Only
a
three
couple
people
people
get.
are going to get it, but not a whole lot.
And they went full out. The inside of this bar looks like you're in the belly of a wooden ship. They've actually done all the interior and everything.
Oh, that's
There are
fun.
portraits of dogs with hooks for paws and knives in their teeth, and they're all wearing hats. And there are 7 screens around, because the idea is that you're at the bottom of the ocean, and fish will swim from one screen to the next screen to the next screen,
that's
and like they're
fun.
circling the boat. And I end up talking to the owner a while, and he said to get the effect that he wanted, he obviously put the TVs up, but he had to build this world. He had to download and learn a video game engine and build this in that video game engine so that there's actually continuity and realism.
Wow. Okay.
That's cool.
I thought it was. Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
it's successful.
Yes. Yeah. So, craft cocktails, all the good stuff. But yeah, Vicky and I are just there drinking Pacifico.
Great. Sounds like
What-
fun.
What about you guys?
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, we packed for a race. There's all that.
We'll talk about that
I-
later.
Right. I finished up the trim work on the porch, all done, looking phenomenal.
Right. There's
is
no more tape
great.
behind me, so that's great.
Right.
I did see on
Um,
our Slack channel, one of Chrissy's trash talking post was the photograph was actually taken out on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was.
Yeah, it's done. Looks great.
Mhm.
Then also this weekend I was going to go flying, but the wind was not conducive to flying a 150. So said, well, the race car's done and in the trailer and the boat's away and I can't fly. What am I going to do? I'm in between projects otherwise. So I picked a project out of my back of my head of things I want to do to the house that can only take a couple days. And I retiled the front walkway and stoop. It is just was just bare concrete and cinder blocks and had been that way for a long time. I thought it was looking worse and worse when the rest of the house keeps getting better and better. So got some outside exterior grade tile and tiled it all up. So now I just need to grout it.
That's awesome. What will Chrissy power wash now?
Oh, she'll find lots of things. She can still power wash the tile. You just have
Really?
to power. Oh yeah, you can.
Okay.
It now that because it's non-skid, I'm sure there'll be stuff that gets in the non-skid you'll have to power wash off and the grout and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Just gotta be careful, I guess.
You'll find plenty to power wash, honey. There's no doubt.
Okay, fine. I really like power.
And if
wash.
not, just start knocking on random neighbors.
I mean, our neighbors would be
Just
more
start
than
going down the
happy.
sidewalk.
Oh,
No
it would take
problem.
me forever. Yeah, really long sidewalk.
Yep.
All right. I was packing for the race. Lots of packing, cooking.
What was
and
what was the thing you were just showing before that you packed for the race? Just hold it up to the camera.
Oh,
it's packed. It's everything's packed. We just packed for the race.
yeah. Car's packed, truck's packed, everything's packed. We're ready to
Well,
go.
there's a little bit of extra stuff that's
Our
out there.
clothes and coolers. That's it.
There.
Yeah, pretty much.
I, on the other hand, totally not packed at all.
Well, we leave sooner than you do, so there's that.
Yeah, right, yeah. Okay.
Well, you probably still need to be packed though, so good
Yeah.
luck with that one.
I've got my
I mean,
race
news and
gear.
notes time. Okay.
Yeah. News and notes time. Okay. All right.
Ah,
It's Halloween. Why should
yes. Is it?
Yes, it's Halloween-ish weekend. It's the Halloween will have happened before the next show gets recorded.
Okay, fine.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, bye. So why should drunken college kids and elementary schools get all of the costume fun? Brandon Gilligray over at Haggerty tells us how you can get your vehicle in the costume spirit as well. It's the Mutts and Cuts van from Dumb and Dumber, and you can own it. Doug DeMuro's Cars and Bids features this faithful recreation of what Brandon calls the family truckster of the 90s. I do not disagree, but it is built on a 93 Ford E150, which is one generation newer than the actual film version, but it does come with LED headlights, custom center console, and a bird cage with a fake dead Petey. If you've seen the movie, you get that joke. Rolling with the inline 306 cylinder, and current bidding has it at over $23,000, with it ending just as you're hearing this. Link to the article and the auction is in our show notes.
Wow. It's expensive.
And we can,
Fantastic.
yeah, I say we can show it if we want, but meh.
You take it over some sweet jumps. Everyone knows what it looks like.
Let's see here. Yeah, here's the if
Pretty accurate.
for reference for people that are like, what the hell is mental talk?
If you've never seen Dumb and Dumber, then just don't.
You know
don't worry
what?
about it.
Even I have seen Dumb and Dumber.
Uh-huh.
You know what?
Sure
Normally
have.
you would check off on your bingo card. Chrissy hasn't seen that movie, and Chrissy has seen this movie.
Yeah. But
And I
I think the guy did a good job of it.
Yeah.
it's still a dumb movie though.
Hey guys, big
I
gulps,
mean,
huh?
it's got it in the
All
name.
right. It's true. It's exactly what you think it should be.
Okay, fine.
Hey, you know what else is going on? The streets of
What?
California are free again. They are set for a display as lowriders with their shimmering exteriors and bouncing hydraulics reclaim their rightful place on the roads. Elizabeth Puckett at Motorious writes that a long-standing ban that kept these iconic vehicles from freely cruising through California has been revoked, paving way for the revived car culture. Now, the passionate Latino community in California, which has nurtured the lowride tradition since the 40s, had more than a reason to celebrate. For decades, antiquated local laws wrongly linked these classic beauties with crime, casting a cloud over an otherwise vibrant subculture. Now, in a landmark move, Governor Gavin Newsom has put pen to paper, signing off on a bill that eliminates the unjust bans. So with the dawn of 2023, lowriders can once again legally grace the Golden State's avenues. Elegance Los Angeles Car Club's president, Renee Castillon, voiced the sentiment of many. We're enthusiasts, not miscreants. And his bright red 65 Impala was adorned with a defiant message: cruising is not a crime.
Wow.
I'm actually happy about that. I like that article. I've said 1,000 times, I love lowriders. I love lowrider shows. They do cruise Fremont Street, usually about the first Friday of every month. It is awesome to watch, especially when you get a row of them and they start dancing in traffic. That's just great.
Yeah, they usually don't hurt anybody. Low and slow.
I'm
Great
sure
work.
just like Sutton and Sploden occurred for a reason. I'm sure there's a couple bad apples that made this rule a rule.
Probably, but now everyone's old and the cars are valuable. So
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
exactly. They've got
And
so
it's-
much money in those cars.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. They're so
And-
expensive that only people that they wouldn't want anybody else to
Yeah,
touch them because
just-
they're
Yeah.
that expensive.
And thousands of hours of airbrushing and gold flake and
Yeah.
polishing and sanding and all that stuff. You ever want an exhaust done right? Take it to a shop that does low riders. Oof, they will nail it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're talking about non-modern cars. Modern cars are indeed very smart, though no car is perfect. Adam Ismail from The Drive tells us that about one enterprising developer who decided to make his Mazda a little smarter through code and share his work with others like him online. Unfortunately, the automaker took issue with this improvement and hit the project with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA claim, forcing it to be taken down. Developer Brandon Rottweiler authorized Mazda-specific integrations for Home Assistant, an open source platform that can be used to run and establish interoperability between the variety of connected devices. Rottweiler's code plugged into Mazda's application programming interface, or API, allowing owners to create and share a number of seemingly inoffensive, convenience-minded functions like checking and alerting fuel levels before daily commute, or remotely unlocking and firing up the car when outside temperature drop below a certain threshold, as ARS Technica summed up in its coverage.
Hang on.
Mazda.
This is important. You said to establish interoperability. It's interoperability between a variety of connected devices. There's a big difference between
okay.
the two. Just making sure
Thanks.
that.
But I
for
would
catching me on that.
actually, I would love my Google Home Assistant to be like, oh, by the way, you're down to 1/8 of a tank. You might want to leave 10 minutes earlier for work.
Yes. Thank you for correcting my words there. Mazda caught wind, however, and served Home Assistant GitHub, where the software was hosted, and Rottweiler's cease and desist orders, citing a number of infringements. The automaker argued that Rottweiler's work contained code that violated its copyrights, used its proprietary API information, and create more code, and that its integrations provide functionality identical to what currently exists in the Mazda's own apps. So, regardless, maximizing the convenience of connected cars in a manner that doesn't sacrifice the safety or security of those vehicles or steal software that legally belongs to an automaker is undeniable facet of car modification in the modern age. But with this time that without rules about the topic, automakers just going to have to throw legal threats around for now.
How is the company that makes the Miata such a fun hater?
Well, there's copyright law is a weird thing, and then if you don't show a regular attempt to defend said copyright, you lose the right to it. So you have to do at least some defense of your copyright.
Or, and I'll give you that one. They call them up and be like, hey, you know what? We like this software. Here's, $1. We want to buy it or whatever, because clearly this is not his primary job and he's just trying to help people out. And then you own the copyright to this great, all these convenience features. But I also think in the world, of lemons paddocks, where everyone helps each other out and people aren't tools, and they have to think in the world of people hacking into their cars and stealing them, kind of a crap.
Yeah. And I think in the world of lawyers and lawsuits and litigation,
The boring
crap
world.
that I get every day, and I see all that side too. Anyway,
Pretty much.
Yes.
wah, wah,
Wah,
sad
wah.
trombone.
Right. Just trying to do something fun.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Racing Junk has everything, right? So I decided
That's fun.
to pursue
Yeah. There you go.
right?
Yeah.
Racing Junk. I decided to pursue the road racing section of the classified. I found all kinds of fun things. First, there are many road racing cars that are pretty much the cost of a small house, anywhere from a small house to a really large house. So fun to look at, but not reasonable for most. But I did find some fun cars. So I found a 1979 RX-7 ITA car. Seems nicely prepped. Not sure. I didn't look too deep to see how close it would be for a Lemon's car. It's really shiny. Might be a fun track car. Feel like it was a fairly reasonable price. I did not write it down here. I think it was
It's $8,000,
$8,000,
and
yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So
I'm not seeing any cages modifications that would blatantly make it fail.
It's Bolton.
Oh, is
Bolton
it?
cage.
Yeah, you're gonna have to redo those floor mount points. But
also just look like a nicely prepped
Yeah, clean,
RX-7.
rust free.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
And like that first picture where it's lifting the inside wheel, it's clearly set up correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it looks like good attention to detail on this car.
yeah, for $8,000 seems pretty. Seems like, especially
Wait,
even if you don't
Does
race
it
lemons,
actually
you just
include the
wanna-
trailer?
I'm sure it does not.
Okay, because he's got a bunch of pictures of the trailer. Oh, it's just tires. Okay, he's showing all the spares.
Which has a lot of spares too. Okay, so a fun car there. I have no idea even where it's from, but I thought it was one of the nicer looking cars that were reasonably priced. And then there was
where to go. Oh darn it! I just had it. It's Gambler or Gambier, Ohio. So yeah, I thought I recognized that track.
Ohio.
It's at Mid Ohio.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And the other one I found, so they do have a lemon section on Racing Junk, and I found a boring BMW Class A car that needs some love, but it would be a good start. And also at a fairly reasonable price. Looked like it had a bunch of clean panels of not too much hard racing on that. So, yeah.
I think it's still under construction, but yeah. Oh, there you go. There's some
Yeah.
battle wounds.
Yeah, it needs a door.
220. Scroll
Yeah.
down a little.
What
do
engine
you-
is that?
That is an LS, I believe.
No, it's looks like it's got
Oh, you think
double
it's
cam. I think
Coyote?
It's a BMW. It's a BMW
Oh.
M60.
It is an
Okay.
M60. Ooh, and I think technically, if you keep the electronics, that falls into the realm of Judge Phil's Class C exemption for BMW V8s.
It says it's a Class A car, and they've raced it as a Class A car. So I
Yes.
doubt.
But a number of years ago, if you use a BMW V8, I believe it was the 4.5 liter V8, the Judge Phil exemption is it automatically goes into Class C because the electronics on that V8 will fail.
Okay. Well, maybe it did at one point. They might have already taken the exemption, but it's $2,400. I think it's California car, if I remember correctly. But
It's got a passing cage and like, okay.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
it's
good,
in
it's pretty good
it's in the
start.
Bay Area. There you go.
so I figured there's plenty of things on Racing Junk, and the road racing section is not a boring section. There are lots of race prepped cars for $100,000 to $300,000 to $400,000, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like,
$2,400 is worth it just for that E30 shell. Yeah,
Right.
good find.
yeah.
Yeah.
So go to
Yeah.
Racing Junk. You might find some
Absolutely.
fun things.
Use that code POD23. Someone did actually confirm it still works, and you
Oh,
get
good.
that
Thank you.
pro membership so cheap. 5 ads, 50 photos, all this other kind of stuff, free videos, you get ad credits, get all the early release stuff, you get rid of all the banner ads. You've spent more at Chili's, admit it, and gotten less from it than you would get from a Racing Junk Pro membership.
Okay.
Lemons, we're going to New Hampshire. There are 121 cars coming to New Hampshire.
Woo,
Okay.
so many yellow flags.
Oh,
the
good.
line.
Yeah.
The line through turns 11, 12 is going to
Yep.
be
Yep.
amazing.
I mean, the line might be
Ah.
through the whole track for that matter.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot.
121
All
cars.
right, we're going
Gosh.
how at 3, going 4
Remember
wide
a couple
through
of years
one?
ago, there was one year we had like 85. We're like, this is actually just right. There's enough people to race all the time, but you got some room. Anyway, not this year. 23 BMWs, 7 Miatas, 15 Hondas, 6 Porsches, but 2 Cordobas, a Triumph Spitfire,
Oh yeah.
a Buick Park Avenue, and a
Is it-
Subaru Baja.
Is it the Park Avenue? Is it the old Jalopnik
The
Park
pink
Avenue?
one. No, theirs is a
The
LeSabre.
no,
This is
okay,
the
yes.
the pink Park Avenue.
We remember that car.
Yeah, that car's been around every year.
We do remember. No, we don't.
They come to this one race a year, and that's
Mhm.
with that car, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But
I
still,
believe it
it's
is
a
a,
Buick Park
the-
Avenue. That's
or
a
at least
wonderful
the
car.
last time I saw it, they were using it as a fundraiser.
Probably.
I'm actually
Yep.
excited to see that Subaru Baja. That'll be fun.
Oh, it'll blow its head gaskets promptly. So
And they'll have a place to sit in the back of the Baja while somebody's doing it,
yeah, well, that's where you put your parts when you take them off, as the engine comes out.
Ed
Perfect.
Zachary. Yes. So, and we did miss the coming up this weekend is also going to be the Champ Car Discovery Parts amped up duels at Atlanta Motorsports Park,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
Too late now.
Too
yeah,
late.
pretty much. Yeah. Sorry.
right,
Work,
let's-
work has sucked. I'm busy.
Yeah,
Check it
for
off
all
of
of
your
us.
bingo card. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
feel like I did that. I think we deleted it because I did
Oh
it.
well.
Okay.
Anyway,
Champ Car.
recent
whatever.
results.
Recent
Let's talk
results.
about results.
Sure.
Winners from Lemons at the Ridge. Winner in laps, IWGF Racing in a Ford Probe, which you think, oh, overall win. That's a Class A, right? No, that was a B class car with an overall win because it's a Probe. Like, how is that going to do?
No, it should. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably should be in B.
It was a small field, so that's weird things happen.
That proves the B motto, which it could win if it doesn't blow up. Which
Possibly, yeah. Class A was Otaku Racing in a 95 Civic. God's Chosen Class, Nacho Friend Racing in their 85 Celica. Org Choice was Silver Sleeves Lace Racing in their Lotus Cortina.
listed on the
Which was
website as a
gorgeous.
Nunya Business because
Business,
that was
yeah.
a surprise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Our buddy Jim, who was judging that race, posted a video of everyone with the $500, my ass of that car going through a corner. And then literally another Class B car going through the corner at 3 times the speed because that was not a fast car.
Nope.
Well, the fact that it ran, those are they're friends of ours. They're amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Wrenches and they make beautiful cars. So
Yep.
it's fun.
Judge's choice was Winkle Chicken in a 79 RX-7, not unlike the one you could buy on racingjunk.com. The eBay heroic fix was a Stig in a 79 Chevy Malibu. The opposite, of course, was I got screwed in Mopar Posers. They were in an 02 Dodge Intrepid. I feel like they were screwed when they said, we should race a Dodge Intrepid.
Mhm.
And the
Totally.
the Road Mangler Cup went to There Is No Spoon in a actually very brilliantly themed 91 Honda Civic.
Halloween Meets Gasoline went to Civic Duty, spelled Doody, racing in a 07 Honda Civic. I wonder what they did. I don't remember seeing pictures of that. In an 07 Honda Civic, their theme must have been great. The regional Exxon Valdez 34th anniversary Spilling Oil Everywhere Award went to Power Wankers in a boring 06 BMW 330i. And finally, IOE went to Low Road Racing in a 47 Chevy Style Master.
Guess what?
Style Master.
What? The Lemon schedule is out for 2024.
Oh my gosh. I was in a
The
meeting
new phone
today.
books are here.
My phone is blowing up. Our Slack channel was just on fire. And I was like, what is even happening? Is buzz, 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 buzz. I was like, what is going on?
So if you haven't checked that out already, the link is, of course,
Sure
in our
you
show
have.
notes. Head over to the 24 Hours of Lemons. Now, there's not a lot of new tracks, but there's some schedule changes up. Notably, Lemons is headed back to Sebring this May. Road America is staying on the schedule, and the 24-hour race at High Plains is actually now going to be in June.
That's interesting. As much as there was a lot of rain there last year, that's going to be that would have been such a long night. OMG. Anyway,
The night is when it didn't rain there. Actually, that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, it was about the only time that was clear
Yep.
track. You're absolutely right. All right, don't forget about Lemons Rally. So Virginia is for clunkers. 2024 is February 7th to the 9th. Route 66, it's crap from LA. Route 66, March 20th to the 24th. Rust Belt Ramble is 26th to the 28th. Hell on Wheels.
July.
What?
July.
July 26th to
The
the
month
24th.
helps. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
sure.
I
Yeah.
hastily pasted all this
No,
in. It's a little
that's
hard
fine.
to
I
read.
was nope. Hell on Wheels California Rally is August 9th to the 11th. New England Fall Foliage is the September 27th to the 29th.
And something else that's been around you should check out if you have one near you, Concours de Lemons. September the 16th is Concours Lemons Canada in Ontario.
Ooh,
And October 15th at the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival. So
interesting.
somewhere a little different. That's great.
That's fun. All right, let's do the
On YouTube, Timmy B had a lot to say.
Wow.
He
Okay.
did. He's a super fan. So he said, to answer DJ 914, we brought the Frito-Lay Fun Flavor Variety Pack, which has 54 bags of chips. While we didn't track the number of bags eaten whilst watching others struggling mightily to repair their broken crap cans, we finished the weekend with only 11 bags remaining. I would estimate that 79% or 33.97 parentheses, because I fed a couple to Toby the pit bull, parentheses, of those 43 bags were consumed, quote, wrench spectating, end quote, by Dave or myself, while the remainder were consumed or stolen by drunk people late in the evenings, possibly while driving a mobility scooter-powered Cadillac bench seat around the paddock with maroon suede and 700 pounds of people on it.
There
That's about
was
right.
a question for Rafi, and everyone wants to know why you're not towing with the hearse, because he's a member of the Denver Hearse Club, and I have to agree because it does seem like a lemony tow pig.
Especially they've got those rollers to put all your stuff in. Like, that's the hardest part. You got to put something heavy up further. Well, it's got rollers.
There you go, man. Yeah.
All right. And who was clarifying that the
All this is
racing
all
junk
Tim. All Tim.
Oh, this is all Tim.
All
Okay,
Tim
so
all the time.
he said August, as of August, the racing junk discount worked. That's good. And Tim was sad that he didn't say hello to Chrissy's
That-
mom.
When Mental did the quick little episode, didn't say hi to Chrissy's mom.
Oh, I'm sure
Which
she
is a
noticed.
failure that I have
I'm
no
sure
excuse
she's
for.
sad, and I'm sure you're going to get one less cookie this weekend. So-
I know, and I do apologize. I was off my game. We had a lot of interaction. I got really bored and scheduled a lot of posts, including a new trend called Mom Joke Monday. The most recent one went over pretty well on the Instagram. If you're not following us over there, check that one out.
I guess I need to do that. I don't go there.
You probably
enough.
don't.
I probably don't. Okay.
Insta what?
You're right.
That's right. It's main topic time. If that cut out for everyone, not just me. And
Did.
yeah. All right. We're all going to the Halloween Hooptiefest at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Located in Loudon, New Hampshire, it's an hour drive north of Boston. Lemons utilizes the 1.6-mile road course that actually starts on the interior circle track and oval sections and then proceeds outside and then back into there. It is known as the North and South Chicane setup.
Say that
And
3 times fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
Get up, Patrick's fan. And if you are looking for a track map, we actually do have one linked in our show notes. And I will also be bringing one up that I've saved here if you are watching this on the YouTubes. And if you have ever been here before, everything else is the same, including know the direction around the garages. It is clockwise. Understand that.
Right. If you are seeing a whole bunch of the wrong sides of cars, you're doing it wrong. And people will yell at you.
Mm-hmm. You'll find
And
out.
then mock you. Yes.
Yep.
All right. So the track that is out there a bit, if you've never been, there is not much for food. Gas on site is broken.
Yes.
Mhm.
The
Real?
pumps are, they
Yes,
sent out a
that's updated.
notification. The pumps aren't
Okay.
working.
Okay. Broken, and you'll need to use one of the 2 gas stations outside. Hopefully they are open. The nearest
Yes,
gas station convenience.
the
you
shell
looked
is,
it up.
remember, I updated all this. This is all true. So
Great.
you don't have to question it all.
Well, I mean, sometimes when you get there, they're not there. So
Yeah.
They
No,
actually,
what-
what's the one right outside? They actually reached out to Lemons and said, we'll be here.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's good.
whatever
That's
the
a
shell
tiny.
what used to be no, there used to be a shell
Got it.
station that's been
Yes.
redone now, and it's a different
Got
thing.
it.
So
Got it.
but
Got
there's
it. Got
both.
it. Right. So the other tiny dinky one is the one that I thought that just may not have been in here as long as you never know.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
always been there.
Okay, thank you. Never mind. The nearest gas station and convenience is 5 minutes away. Google lists premium at $4.20 a gallon.
Holy
Nearest
crap. I'm going to drive a tanker truck out there, fill it, and bring it back to Las Vegas.
Well, that's pretty darn expensive, but okay.
So is
Um,
gas here.
Oh, apparently. Nearest Walmart, it's about 15 minutes away in Concord. They are not
Concord.
24 hours. They close at 11. Concord is where you might get anything that you might need. You might be familiar with this place. I think plenty of us, if you're coming from the south, you probably pass it. On the way to the track is on 106 is a pizza place called Brookside Pizza. Make sure you call Loudon. They're going to say, this is Brookside Pizza, Loudon. And then we said, can I place an order? They're like, you're coming to Loudon, correct? They say this every time. So you want to make sure you're calling the right number, or you're going to order pizza at the wrong place, because I'm sure they've had this happen.
And I think it's probably more so because the Loudon one is out in the middle of nowhere, and they've probably had a bunch of people yell at their other location,
Either way, don't get them confused. Make sure you're calling the right place, or they're going to yell at you. Okay, when you arrive at the main gate, keep to the right to the park and walk over to and park. Go to the registration building. You sign up for testing, pay for power. I don't know if you need your license, but bring it anyway. That's what we usually do, just because they occasionally will allow you sign up for things. There's a whole bunch of windows. Just go to the right window, go to the correct window for what you're trying to do.
Yep. I will say that, yeah, everything's in Concord, like Chrissy said. Like there's a big complex of Walmart, Target, Home Depot, all that crap, you name it. Just it's south on 106. Just keep going past where you would get on off the highway onto 106 to go to the track, and that's where everything is. The other thing in Concord, a little further away, is Concord Hospital. Their ER is great. Great reviews by me. 5 of 5 would recommend. But try not to. No,
you
don't
should
go.
probably, and if you have to go earlier rather than later, because we got a really good seat. We got really good taken care
we
of.
sat down and they called our number.
But the people that were following us was a girl in a wheelchair, used a beer box as a splint on her leg.
Yeah, it's definitely a Bud Light case full of ice around her leg.
Things were going south as we got there. So go early. If you have a problem and you're not really sure, you should go towards 5 and not go towards 10.
Oh.
Yep.
AM.
Another
PM,
New Hampshire top tip: if you are not local, stop at the New Hampshire State Liquor Store on your way, and it is a rest stop on the side of the highway on the way to the track.
Impossible to miss.
Yep. Great selection, great prices.
There's like signs that tell you, they're like, it's 5 miles away, it's 2 miles away. You should probably exit right now.
Yep.
There's also like 4 like little, like a food court in there too.
Yeah.
And they have like
on one
tacos and
one
stuff
side
and
of
beef jerky and
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all pretty nice now. So stop there, get what you need for the race, or for a bribe, or for a friend. Hey, It's fantastic. Or stock up and bring it home. I definitely know someone on our team who does. Like that's his main motivation to go to this race is so he can stop.
Sometimes he stocks up too much on the way there, then we drink a lot there, and then you still have to stop on your way home. So it depends on how you temper yourself when you're at the race.
He's not very good at that.
I was talking generally about people.
Yeah. Try
not to point fingers.
Oh, it's fine. He pointed at himself.
I know.
Anyway,
anyway.
Hey, let's talk at the weather. The weather looks pretty great for this weekend for New Hampshire at almost November. Temps in the 70s on Friday and Saturday. Like, wow. 50 at night. Sunday, it's around 60. It does have a little chance of showers, but that's like a week away almost now. So who knows what's going to happen, but still 70s in New Hampshire. Okay. We're going to take it. The track test day is Friday. The time, it'll be announced. It's probably normal time, but sign up with the track when you get to the facility. In the past, it has been $150 for a car with one driver, which you say, wow, that's so cheap. Yep. What they get you is it's $50 for each additional driver. So make sure everyone wants to drive. What we did is sign the car up with one person, and every other person that was ready to go, they would go up and sign up as they needed to make sure the car wasn't broken and we weren't paying for extra drivers.
That's
that
not a
weren't gonna
bad
drive
plan.
the car. Yeah. So there's an idea, but it is really nice if you just need to do a little shakedown in your car or scrub some tires or something. It's cheap for that. They haven't allowed passengers in years, unfortunately. They used to, but it's been a long time since they did. It is usually an open test format, so just go out, run what you want, and come back, and that's it. It's not like Pitt that does the weird schedules with the 20-minute sessions with normies or any of those things. It's a good track day.
Right.
Don't forget your assigned tech time. It's out there. You've got a link for it in an email. It's on the website. just go and sign up and
It's
follow
it's in
your
the
tech time.
forums. Go to the forums.
Yeah, it's
We'll
everywhere.
throw that link in here too. Why not?
Right. Just go to your tech time, please. It really helps the judges when you do that on time. Thank you. Let's see. In the past, we could walk the track Friday from 5:30 to 6:30. They've said nothing with wheels in the rules has been in the past, including rollerblades. But there's also nothing
Sasha.
about this on this. Yeah, there's nothing about that on this year's schedule. So who knows? But hey, we can hope because walking the track is nice. Saturday, the track is hot from 10 to 5. Sunday, it is hot from 9 to 4, which you'll note those are 2 7-hour days. We do not have the 7.5-hour day that we have had on the schedule in the past. That may change your fueling strategy. Certainly did ours.
I want to interject here real quick. I was just thinking about the times when we were deciding that we would have another driver that would go all the way out to the front gate, which is really far away. So if you've never been here, bring a bike, pick up a mini bike or something, because we use our scooter so much this time of the weekend because everything is just really far away from each other. So if you
Except
need to go,
nothing that is motorized can leave the infield unless it is registered, and so you can't just drive your
like mini bike
well in
out
theory.
there.
Yeah, you can we can take Scooty because Scooty's tagged and
No, but like
insured and
a
everything.
mini bike.
Yeah,
Like not.
no, you're
Oh,
not supposed to take that. You also just can't drive your hoopty ass race car out there either, supposedly.
I did
So
not realize that, but
that's
I
why I'm
was
telling you.
okay. Well, go get a bike then, because a bike should be fine. I'm just
Yep.
saying everything's far away from each other.
Yep.
All right. Now, if you're not cooking out there, there is a pretty good grill at the track. We have said this before, but any of these NASCAR owned tracks, especially this one, the showers are excellent. They are warm. They are plentiful. That room stays warm, which won't be a factor this weekend. The gates are opening Thursday at 3 and they are closing at 10, and they are going to not let you in there without a wristband. So get there before 10 or plan on being outside of the gate. Friday, the hours are 7 to 9. You'll also need an armband after that to get in and out. And all the traffic is one way around the garages. I've mentioned that before. It's clockwise. So always keep the building on the right, the main one, the passenger side. You're going to be okay. This judging staff, you are going to get away with nothing. You've got the good Sloman, Brett Sloman, Janice from the Limitarians. That's going to be friggin' awesome. And Andy Didorowski of Detroit Bus Company fame. That reminds me, I need to pack my Detroit Bus Company shirt to kiss up to him. Do not forget about the potluck.
Do not. You should bring something. It should be something that is not potato salad or your leftover sandwiches from lunch. That would be great. If you know what you're bringing, please go to the forums, or I put it on Facebook, what you're bringing. If you could put it on the spreadsheet, just so I have a clue of who is bringing what. It'd be awesome if you can bring it, your food already cooked in some kind of temperature that you would like to serve it in. You should bring a serving utensil, but if you don't have one, that's fine too. There is a grocery store that is in Concord. You might pass it on your way in if you are coming from the south. We've stopped at this grocery store. It's very nice. You might even be able to like call ahead, or you'd order something, or just go there and find something to bring to the potluck. So please don't forget, potlucks are only as good as stuff that you bring. So if you are just planning on showing up and eating food, and everybody else does too, there's not gonna be enough food to eat.
And this potluck in the past has gone over really, really well. Like people bring pizza ovens and set up bars and do all, like people put some serious effort in there, and you don't want to be the lame-o.
And I'll know if you don't bring any food and you eat. Just saying. So you should do that.
She's potluck clause.
Potluck Krampus is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I will only know. I might not call you out, but I might call you secretly out. So
You won't give them any mayonnaise.
I will
That
not.
and that's probably a good thing. And it's important to remember that if you bring condiments, that those condiments get along.
Sure. Although who really eats relish with anything? So
Mhm.
that's fine.
Well, I mean, disagreeable condiments are unfortunate, but who knows?
Well, like
All right.
when one of
What a
them's all store-bought and gets all full of itself,
What a good time though. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Let's
Yep.
go. This is dumb. This is okay. We're gonna.
We can't resist.
This is
All right.
dumb. This is dumb
This
podcasting.
is, it's
Uh-huh.
dumb podcasting. Let's
As
go.
dumb as you, mayonnaise. Anyway, we're gonna do a track walk because that's what we usually do. Do a track walk. We're gonna use one that lists 12 turns. Some say 14. We're
Because they're
just
too
gonna do
lazy
this
to add
one.
the alphabet into their numbers.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna do the 12 turn one because I prefer that one. So now the link that I had. No, Mental's got it.
The
Oh,
link that
fantastic.
you had took it to the SCCA.
We're just gonna use Mental's link as the very sharing screen. So that's great.
Yeah. I
SCCA,
feel like
yeah.
I feel like
Anyway,
Chrissy's
it's a
fine
good
and
check now.
Chris
It
is
shows it clearly,
giga
it shows
blasting.
good
Nope,
numbers, that's nice. All right.
it's gonna be all me. I'm all giga blasting. Nope, Chrissy just came back.
No, I think it's Chris.
Okay, so it is Chris's giga blasting. He's gonna go on there.
Chris
The
is giga blasting. I'm not sure.
the
why.
one link that we had on there would actually just be a link to the schedule for the SDVRA, but it
That's
used
why I
to be.
just shut my video off.
Yep.
It's not. You're still giga blasting.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, Chrissy,
You guys gonna
you've
keep
got
going
a
for a minute while I
gajillion
wait?
laps out here.
Ooh, I have. Yes, I have done a bajillion laps out here.
So why don't you walk everybody through how they actually get on track?
Sure. So you get on track. We are standing at the south side of the central garages. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so then you're going to come out onto that thing that says Pit Road, and you are going to get checked on Pit Road. This is also the active during the race. This is where you're going to go past the pit lane, right? Yes. Yeah, that is pit lane. So that's where you are going to be fueling as well. So you're going to come out there and you're going to be in with the other cars that might be coming off track. So when it's not the start of the race, it's going to be a little busy on this road. Okay, from there, you're going to go all the way down the end of that road as it starts to turn. And there is going to be somebody to check your wristbands at the very end. They're going to check do a normal, what they call dick check. You're going to make sure that all of your belts are tight, low and tight. The thing around your
helmet,
neck
chin
restraints.
your
strap.
helmet straight.
chin
Yes, I'm like
strap, all that
holding it
stuff.
right. Oh, you're back. Okay, do you want to do this? Nope, can't. Never mind.
Sure, if
Okay,
it's working.
it's not working.
Well, we can hear you good. We just can't
Well,
see you.
Or
Well,
you're delusional.
there's just like a 5-second delay, so you just got to kind of let me roll once I start talking. and then
Okay,
it'll
okay,
work
great. So
But
you
the delay is the problem. So
Spooky internet.
okay.
when you start talking, then it's going to go over me. I'll just start, a bit, and then you guys take over at some point when you hear a gap of when I stop talking, or I'll say over to you guys. How about that? That'll make it really clear. So, like Chrissy said, you get checked at turn 1, and then you follow a long circuitous coned path all the way through turn 2, and following the wall around turn 2. When the first time, if you do it, if you've never done it before, you say, "Well, this can't be right." But it is. You go through a very tight little thing, run turn 2 with the cars whizzing by you pretty close. That's how you enter on the track. And once you do so, stay left all the way until you get to the kind of kink before turn 3. Just stay on that left side. That's all. Do not cut over right. Stay left. There's not really a blend line, but stay there. All right. So turn 3 is entering or really crossing the NASCAR track, going up out of the oval onto the hill. So for turn 3, you want to stay left on turn 3 as you're coming in. Some folks are going to want to go 3 and 4 wide as you're coming into 3. They really are. And with 120 cars, we're absolutely going to go 3 or 4 wide at times there. There's no way around it. So figure out where you're going to fit. But in general, if you keep yourself to the left as you come into 3, there's a nice place to brake in a straight line before you make the turn. The gators that are on the right-hand side offer basically no grip, so be careful. I usually apex on the second to last of the blue ones. You'll see it when it's there. Track out is the start of the gators on the opposite side. The other thing is that this is a hill. This is a very steep, significant hill for turn 3. And you'll find that you'll be understeering as you come across the NASCAR track, but then as soon as you hit the hill, it's abrupt and you will have all the traction in the world again. So don't be afraid to understeer as you come up there, as long as you don't understeer into anybody, because then you will get traction as you go up. Though the alternative is that once you start going up this hill, if you do not have a good traction, if you do not have a good differential, if you have oftentimes a rear wheel drive, higher torque car, you are just going to spin a tire all the way up that hill. And it is frustrating. And so you might be behind someone, they're going, and then they seem like they're slowing down. Yeah, because they're just roasting that inside tire. So keep an eye on that for cars that are going slower than you think. Yeah, our Ombre was terrible for that. No doubt. The other thing about this corner is that people are also going to slow down abruptly in front of you when they shift. Like they downshifted probably sometimes a second to get up that hill, and then they shift to third, and they're going to seem like they slow because they're on a hill. So watch out for that. Let's see what else. If it's wet, which it may be on Sunday, stay all the way left. It's amazing how much traction there is outside all the way left. So I'm gonna tossing it off to you, Chrissy or Menzel, for talking about turn 4-5.
Okay, turn 4. Now, as you're coming up that hill, there is a flag station on the right. It's got good visibility, and for that reason, they also use this as the black flag. So have your eyes up as you're coming out of 3. You cross over that NASCAR track, you start charging up the hill, you've got that momentum, keep adding on to that power because your suspension is compressed like he talked about. And it is a good place to outpower a lot of less horsepower cars, or if you're a good momentum car, you can carry that speed of there. Just bear in mind also, people might be jerking over in front of you, especially with a track that's crowded as you're coming up there, but you want to make sure you get an eye on that flag station as you're coming up that hill. Chrissy, you want 5?
No, I could, but I was just thinking about it, not necessarily in the notes we were talking about, but as you're going up and over this hill, it's kind of blind. And then all of a sudden you're going to see there's a whole lot of lovely landscape. There may be other events that are going on not on our track. Every once in a while, and I don't know if this is happening at this race, that they have had a Halloween party and pumpkin chunkin. But the thing that is notable is the drifters.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. So they have drifters, and sometimes there is smoke, and like tire smoke, and it looks like a whole lot. So it might look like a fire. If they're doing a really good job when they're drifting. So sometimes it might be a surprise, and you might think this is happening on track, but it's actually a little bit beyond the track. So just making sure that you might be seeing other events that are happening in the next parking lot over between 4 and 5 as you're kind of going up and over that hill. Can we keep going?
Please. Yes.
Okay. So you're setting up for the downhill section. You should find a visual. There's a different color, or there used to be different color kind of bollards that are at the end of the track. Sometimes they might be good ones to figure out where you're going to brake and then turn in. But you're basically going into what we call the bowl is to turn 6. But you should typically, if you can, stay right. That's where the line would be. But there are going to people be passing you on the left on the inside, because sometimes if they have more traction, they get in and out of the bowl before you're making the turn.
And sometimes they're just stupid.
Well, sometimes if there's a slower car on the outside and we think you can get past them and be out of it, then you could do it that way.
All right. So as Chrissy mentioned,
when the track is clear, stay high.
Yes.
What to the right?
Track is clear, stay high, and then dive down. Yeah, stay high to the right, then dive down into the bowl. And that's the fastest way through the turn 5-6 transition. You can brake basically just before the hill, before 6 bottoms out, before you turn, you brake there. And then you turn in, but you are looking like way to your left as you turn into 6, all the way up through and out of the bowl. It's kind of a weird thing to do to look that way, but it really will help you. The way to get 6-7 correct is you turn in once. You turn in late and hard, and slowly, gradually unwind the wheel as you go through 6 and 7, and even into the start of 8. If you have to turn in twice, you did it wrong. You were probably too early. if you have to turn in again. So hard late turn in, gradual wheel unwind up to the apex of 7. You can get a lot of people passing here if you have more power or they did it wrong. But also be very, very careful to not go over the top edge. Get to the top, you lose all the camber, and you not only lose all the camber, it goes the other way. And what's beyond 1 car width at the top?
Gravel.
Big gravel that will just suck your car in, and you will not get out without 4-wheel
No,
drive.
you will not.
It's bad. Yeah.
Or a
And
tow
you have
truck.
to sit there while everyone drives around you during a yellow
Uh-huh.
flag, and everyone will know.
Yeah, and
we
then
will
you'll
be
collect
so mad
gravel
at you.
out of every crevice of your car for years because it's been there. Yes,
Yes.
you
Yes.
absolutely will. And it puts gravel and other cover, it gets in the way, breaks windshields. Don't do that. All right.
Yeah.
So
You'll be haunted by gravel.
yeah, that's 6. 7 is, like we said, you're just unwinding from 6. This is the feedback loop for how much steering you input it in before. So anyway, the track does narrow at 7, so be careful about that. Turn 8 is the treehouse flag station. Look up. Seriously, look. When we say look up, like really look up. It's up in the tree is the flag station, but you need that because you can't see anything as you go over the crest at 8. It's a right-hand turn gradually over the crest that ends up with a little straight between 8 and 9. There's a gravel trap on the left-hand side here that lots of people will hit and throw gravel all over the track. My preferred line is to be still flat out up over 8 and a little bit past 8. There's like if you apex 8 on all the way tight to the right, and then you can basically make a little straight between 8 and kind of the outside of 9. And that's a great place to not be turning, but going straight. And you can late brake past a lot of people there as long as they see you, because the harm there is that people will just start turning in, not looking at what's around them, and don't expect anyone to possibly be still braking out there because they didn't do it. So be careful about that. But if you hug right tight in 8 and then go straight out toward the outside of 9, you're not tracking out from 8.
Let me jump in here real quick just to add a quick thing. That flag station, the treehouse, they are very good there. I know some tracks, some of the flagging is wonky. These flaggers are really, really good. And you need to know that flag station because cars do spin because they don't listen to Chris. And that flag station is going to quite often be your only warning sign that someone is stalled or has thrown some garbage up onto the track.
Well, and I was
Yeah.
going to say that between 8 and 9 is a prime place for where there's usually a lot of gravel, because if you there's people that are passing in the weird places this is a really good place for a lot of marbles if you're going on a different line, or you're trying to stay off the line if you're a slower car. It's usually pretty dirty here.
People apex 8 too early, get pushed wide on the left of 9 right when the start of 9 cuts in on your left. So you don't have the room. That's why you have to late apex 8 all the way on the right as you're cresting the hill, and then basically make a little tiny straight to the outside of 9. And you do this because you do not track out of 9. Your apex is your track out. You never, ever go to the right. So you do a wicked late apex on 9, because we're in New England. I can say it's a wicked late apex. And there's some Jersey barriers right along that bit right before you cross the NASCAR track again. And they're usually zebra striped. Keep those immediately on your left. And I like to make sure the car is completely straight and kind of settled there, because you're about to go over a very bumpy section of track that can go poorly if you do it wrong as you cross back over the NASCAR track. Also this is turn 10 that we're coming into now, where you cross that. Turn 10's biggest feature is the turtle. This was a large bump of pavement that looked like a huge turtle was paved over in the track. It has gotten smaller over the years, and they've pulled the wall back a little bit from it, so it's more visible, and they painted it. But still, if you hit it on the inside, you will probably flip your car. We've seen it happen. So don't do that. The flag is on the right-hand side behind the wall on the NASCAR side. So you don't, obviously you'll seem like it's a little strange, like you're getting real close to that person, but they're pretty safe behind that wall and behind the turtle. And that's like why the turtle exists too, to keep people away from the flagger. So after you've come through 9, which is a throwaway corner, come into 10, you do a late apex, and the car is going to get bumpy as the elevation changes. A couple different ages of asphalt. The crown is different. And a lot of people come in and apex too early and kind of just push way off straight all the way out to the side, and they get into the marbles and off camber, and that's when people hit the wall out there. So that's why the late apex is important. It also helps you avoid the worst of the pavement transitions and undulations in 10. Then you get a nice little straightish section between 10 and 11. This is on the north chicane. This is a nice place just to help get the line sorted, essentially, because coming into 11, it's best if you do it single file. You can do 2, but everyone's got to cooperate and play real nice. And you get those couple people that just don't like to cooperate and play nice because they're real racers and they saw a gap.
You probably won't be doing that until Saturday night and Sunday night, because
Yeah.
there's no way with that many cars. And we're going to it's possible that people stack up if something's happening down later down the track. But yeah.
But going wide on the entry to 11 is past the curbing is a massive ditch. And it's a car breaker of a ditch around 11. So be careful.
That's how we know.
Yeah, seriously. None of us were driving. So don't push wide as you go through 11. It's a little left, right, left, and it's just sorted out in traffic. Like, you'll figure it out. But coming out of 11 into 12 is another spot where right where kind of the R and N of this turn spot is a spot where the track really cuts in. And lots of people will go right over that curving, and it's always fun to watch them as they go completely off-roading, and you get to see their suspension travel, and they just
Chunks
can't
of
handle
their splitter and bits of car and
the people that just continue to try to push, like, oh, I'm okay. You know, it's terrible. So if you go in there, just ease off. You've got lots of room coming out onto the straight. So don't. You need to just finesse and patience. And realism is the way to get through turns 11 and 12.
And if you end up watching somebody go off, it might either be the I'm going to go fast, I can take this corner, or oh no, because you've either messed up your turning or you're going too fast through all this.
And if you're cooking through traffic in here with a pack ahead of you, you're going to need to be as careful as you possibly can be, because this is when all kinds of things can just happen and right in front of you. You have no idea. So just be careful coming
like
through
wheels
12.
come flying
losing
at
a wheel,
you.
right? Losing a wheel. Nobody ever does that.
That's
but
into,
if you do,
right. That's into 12A. It's the way out of the track. On the left-hand side, this is also how you get back into pit lane. Is at the start of 12, you have to be all the way on driver's left to get back in, but it's kind of abrupt. And some people miss it and all of a sudden go at the last second. So, and that's another reason to watch out for people in turn 12. On the left side of turn 12, as you're coming onto the NASCAR straight, there are be a series of cones that lead up to a wall with a pointy end. And this wall is concrete and pointy, and you do not want to hit it. You will have very, very bad problems if you hit this. Some people try to, squeeze you in there because they're going to win. Just be careful of that too, because that is a dangerous spot if you hit that. Also, you cannot see what's going on in that straight. So eyes up. There's been a flagger back between 11 and 12. You want to make sure you see that as you're coming into 11. You can see the flagger to make sure you're safe or on the way out. Also,
and your
as you're
eyes should
coming out
be
of the
over there
straight,
anyway. So usually, and they're pretty adamant about waving it. They're inset the flagger, but they're at least
you can usually
kind of
see it.
Yep.
But also on the NASCAR track, they use the NASCAR warning yellow light system. So you can usually see that as you're coming onto the track if you're looking for it, or just let a look down the straight as you're coming through 12 to start finish line, where you can see usually Johnny is there doing the flagging. I've seen cars spun out in the middle of the straight for no reason. And when you're coming through there at full throttle in fourth gear, you're going to have a bad time. So be careful.
And pay attention to the flaggers on this one. the flagging at different tracks around this place runs the entire gamut. But New Hampshire is one of those tracks where the staff really enjoys having lemons. And we had a conversation with some of their managers. The flaggers on this have to compete to be able to flag this race because they enjoy hanging out. They'll hang out Friday and Saturday night as well. They camp out at the track. They stay there. These are wonderful people and they are top notch. This and Sonoma are probably some of the best flagging you get on the circuit.
Agreed. They do a nice job. All right. So the straight, this isn't a high speed straight. It's not long enough. And you get so slow at 12, it sucks you down a little bit, but it's high speed enough. It's also very, very wide, like 4 wide, not really a problem. You can do it. 3 is common. Like it's going to be 3 every single time you're going down that straight, no doubt. So, but be careful because like typically this track, it goes from wide to narrow to wide to narrow to wide to narrow. It goes from wide to narrow at turn 1. So now turn 1, you're coming along the NASCAR straight and right. I usually like to break around the 1 marker, which seems pretty late, but if there's no one around you, the fastest line is break very late, stay high to your right, use the banking that you get a little bit of banking, and then gradually bring the car down while basically putting all the weight on the right front wheel, gradually bring the car down into the curbing, which is usually blue and purple striped there. I think it's a little different. That's the fastest way because you end up on the straight for longer and you end up using the banking a little bit more and carrying that speed deeper into 1 as you trail your brakes. The other way is the defensive line. Tuck in all the way to your left, go right by the flagger at 1, real tight, stay in along the curbing all the way through the first part of 1. That makes sure no one can pass you on the inside. So if you got an aggressive person behind you who is just going to dive bomb you, just stay left. Stay left. They can't dive bomb you on the inside that way. An important thing to note is do not track out of 1 for 1A. Realistically, especially do not track out of 1A, especially. Your way into 1 is only the best way off the straight to keep your speed up. Your way out of 1 is setting yourself up for 1A, which sets you up for 2. That's the only purpose. Too many people come into 1A, which is the right-hander, and they come in and they get on the gas and they push way wide and they track out, and then they're screwed for turn 2, which leads onto a nice little straight. So the way that's going to be fast here is to turn 1A, the right-hander, you do not track out. Your apex is your track out and stay on the right-hand side. Maybe you might track out a couple feet, but that's it. Because you want to be back all the way on the right-hand side for your turn in for turn 2. And turn 2 is the later your apex, almost the better. Because if you apex too early, you end up pointing kind of up at the banking and up at the walls. And it's not the best way to carry good speed through there. So if you can get on the gas a little bit earlier, but apex later, you're going to get on the banking at the right time to carry your speed as you gradually work your up through turn 2. And you're not going to have to, you're going to have to worry about all the people who did it wrong and are now suddenly in your way and going 15 miles an hour slower than you because they tracked out at 1. But if you do the late apex into 2, you can carry the gas up on the banking and you go about 3/4 of the way up, maybe up the banking. And then it just kind of naturally curves you right back into the chute for turn 3 that we talked about before. Of note, there's a flag station on the inside of turn 2. It's a guy inside the fence. And that's an important one because you have no idea what's going on the other side of that turn.
Yeah.
So as you're coming through 1, look across to the flag station, the guy in the fence at 2. Because a lot of times something will happen in 3 and it'll back up all the way down that straight. And you might be barreling through turn 2 that you cannot see at all. And there'd be something happening. So watch that flag station too. A lot of flag stations to watch. I mean, that should be a normal rule for racing.
But they're all pretty well placed that you're kind of looking that way, right? Like you're in the turns, and when you're getting out of 1A, you're already kind of, there's not a hill, but you're kind of already looking into the place of where that guy is, because you have to go around him. And then when you're at the end of the straight to go, or before you're going up the hill, there's a flagger right there. So I feel like most of them are in pretty good, you don't have to turn and look in weird directions.
Yeah, they're
Sometimes-
usually
sometimes-
approximately where you'd be looking.
Right.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You got start finish. You got on the left of 1. You got behind the fence of 2 on the left. 3 is behind the fence at just
Right
as
before
you're
you go up
turning
the hill.
in. Just right,
Mhm.
right. 5 is at the top of the hill, like
As you're
right in your
cresting.
line of sight.
Mhm.
6 is at when you're going down 5 to 6, the bowl. If you just look up at the outside of the track, is a flag station there too.
But you're
Then
going
you've
around that corner, growing around the boulder,
Right.
so you're already going that way.
sometimes they
Cherry-
have someone at 7, but not all the time. But then 8 up in the treehouse.
Cherry-
If you're
cherry picker,
looking
yep.
up, you get the treehouse. It's not a cherry picker anymore. It's an actual treehouse.
Okay,
It used to
well,
be just a cherry
They used
picker.
to call it cherry picker. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was like a crane or thing, but they like no kidding built a
right.
like
Structure up there.
same
now.
thing as
Yep.
like they
I
got
feel
coming
like we
over
called
the
it
main
cherry
start
picker,
finish
so
line.
that's why
yeah.
it was yes.
Yep. So then after the treehouse, you go through 9. Then you've got someone at the turtle, and then someone on the inside at 11, going through the chicane, and then start to finish.
Yeah, I feel like they're well placed.
And but the lights on the NASCAR oval do help. Like if you're thinking
Yeah.
to look for them when they put those on, usually they'll only do that for full course yellows, but
Mhm.
it's still it's nice to have.
Yes. And
Yep.
it's not unique to New Hampshire, but it happens a lot at New Hampshire, especially as people start to back up because of an incident. If you are suddenly passing everyone and you haven't been passing everyone all weekend, it's a full course yellow.
Mm.
Just head to penalty. Don't try
Yep.
to give the spot back. You've already screwed that up. Just go
And
to
there's
penalty.
Yeah.
there's no doing that with 121 cars on the track.
No.
Nope.
And I won't
This isn't
take it.
F1. You don't give the spot back. Once you passed under yellow,
Nope.
you're done.
Nope.
You
Yep.
get to go talk with Andy and about
Mm.
all of the money he dumps into the local performance art scene there.
Probably wearing a chicken suit or something like that. Who knows?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice to go back to New Hampshire. Been there so many times. Like we've all got a pretty good handle on it. But
I'm trying to remember the last time I raced there.
there was an errant wheel
It-
in front of your Civic.
It was got Godzilla. Yeah, that was the last time. Yeah.
That was 2020, fall of 2020.
Yeah. All right. If you're listening to this and you've never met us, come say hi. We're usually right next to the penalty. I think are we there
We
again?
are again.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yep. Yeah, which is really helpful because we're going to be hosting the potluck. Don't
Yeah.
forget the potluck.
Don't
Here's
forget
a
the potluck.
reminder. Bring something, please. Please, please, please bring something with you. We like to
Yeah.
party with you.
Looking forward to it. Should be a great time.
I think I don't know if that's public. There might be a movie screening on Saturday night. I heard
There might
this.
be a movie screening. I think we're going to lobby hard to change their film selection because I think there's a much
I don't
better
know where
film.
I don't know where the first film came from, but that might be insider baseball. But I think we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well,
But
you know
there-
what? There might be 2 movie screenings because
Sure.
we'll throw
Well,
if
there,
you-
I think
yeah.
there's always something going on in New Hampshire after the potluck or dinner or
Oh, yeah.
anything like that.
always,
Unfortunately,
there's
this-
always something.
This year's not going to be brutally cold. Like the years when it's 30 degrees outside,
Yeah.
everyone just goes and hides in the garage.
Right.
So when it's a little warmer, it won't be quite as bad.
Mhm.
I know I'm looking forward to not having it be 30 degrees when I'm running from the hot tub to the bathroom.
And you're having to do very, very slowly in the garage because it's that polished concrete.
Oh, and it's I
Yeah.
just wait till the bubbles show up.
This
Then
is the
it's
one
not
race
only-
I bring the floor squeegee
Squeegee.
just so we can clean
Yeah.
up the floor. Oh, the hot tub has its own garage spot this year. So
Of course it does.
yep,
Because we're done screwing around here.
yep.
Pretty much.
We're
Exactly.
very serious.
All right. Do we have something for our next section?
We do. I
Chrissy
didn't know
said
what.
she would.
Well, I didn't know what this one was. I think that was.
I'm
notes
sorry,
from
that
last
was
time, but
from me last week. The Mike Mayer's GoFundMe, which has exceeded its funding. It's done very well, and he's been posting updates on his Facebook. So
Okay.
great to everyone who gave.
Okay. Yes, I do have something to talk about.
So wait,
Go for
are
it.
we actually getting
Yes.
just the
tip, tip, tip.
Chris looks at me earlier and he's like, "You have any safety tips?" Shh. It's part of most of my job. Yes, I have some safety tips. So we've had a couple injuries at work, at my work, and not all of them have to do with machinery. One of the recent ones, which was kind of, I'm pretty sure they're not probably a listener, but not one of this person's finest moments. Somebody stood on a folding chair, fell off said folding chair, and like ruined themselves and their back. So we've had a lot of good discussion about safety
Did
and
the
risk.
folding chair fail, or were they just trying to balance it weird, or do you
I
know?
think they were reaching for something and they fell off of it. So I don't think it's just not the right tool, right? So what I want to stress, and actually we also just did a toolbox talk recently at work about safety and risk, and that you often have to, so everything's a risk, right? Just walking around and walking over things and getting into your car and going to the grocery store, and you have risk in everything. Most of the times your risk is pretty low. And then but I challenge you to think about what you're doing when you do something. So you're like, what can I really get hurt doing this? And if so, how bad can I get hurt? And if you start thinking about things that way, you may actually, then you might decide that you could actually get hurt and that you're not going to do it that way. One thing in my house is that we do that's not the best is that I open a pair of scissors and I open boxes with them, and I do this every time. And Chris uses a razor blade, and he'll walk across the kitchen and use the razor blade. Every time I open the scissors, I'm like, you know what? I could really get my finger stuck in these. And usually I choose to do it again. I have not gotten hurt, but I have known people that have. So things like that. Think about what you're doing before you stand on that chair. You're like, okay, it's a couple extra steps. I could go get the ladder and I could go, and that would be a better option. So just think about, especially if your chair is a rolling one, just think about what you're doing first, and you're trying to figure out, how hurt can I actually get by doing this? Safety mic drop.
Yep.
All right. I feel like Chris is reaching over for his speaker. So I want to thank everyone that interacted with all of our social media this week. I did notice that my solo episode got exactly the same amount of views as the 1 hour footage of my pool skimmer. So I know how popular I am on this show.
But
the pool skimmer.
But pool skimmers.
We've got one for my mom. It's in the
And
basement.
you have a cool pool skimmer. So I feel like that's saying something about your episode, because okay.
Yeah.
But next week we'll probably be talking about how the race went, I think.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to do it on Tuesday. Hopefully we're at the World Series. Anyway.
Well, we
Hey.
could probably do it on Monday or some such nonsense.
We'll make it work.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for downloading us. We really hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. Also, if you're going to join us in the world of driving, racing, and building and pool skimming, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe. It's free. Get what you pay for. Go to iTunes, give us that 5-star rating. Even if you don't like us at all, even if you want mentals, hair back, whatever.
Too late. It's on its
Yep.
way to a wig.
5 stars and tell us why. Questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on any of the places that you might try to find people in this social media world. Everyone Racers or everyone.racers@gmail.com. Hey, text Mental. He wants to see pictures of your junk.
Lots of great stuff
They're
from the
solicited
Northeast this
now,
week.
so
It
it's
was
okay.
awesome.
Yeah. 484-243-0455. And hey, if you're at New Hampshire, probably listening to us on the way to New Hampshire, stop by and say hi. We like to see everybody. Almost. Anyway. Have a nice trip. See you at New Hampshire. Until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless there is no shiny side, and just keep the wheels down.